What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Persevere Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Coach G, and I'm actually really excited about this episode, man, because I do believe that the subject I'm going to speak on today is an important subject that I feel should be something that's taught to us in school at a younger age, so we better understand how to set goals effectively and efficiently. And not only set goals, right, but also hit them too. So, yeah, without further ado, man, I really want today we're going to talk about SMART goals. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before. If you have, you're probably familiar with everything we're going to talk about today. But SMART goals, SMART is an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And the reason I really wanted to make this video is because we are approaching the new year, right? And I know that during this time of the year, a lot of people tend to set what they call resolutions, but I think actually what's more important is setting goals, setting standards, right? Goals are important, not only in your fitness, but in life, period, right? They provide us with a sense of direction. They give us motivation. They provide us with a clear focus of where we're trying to go. And yeah, it just gives us a target that we're shooting for. So, as I said, I do believe that this acronym or this way of looking at goals should have been taught to us at an earlier age, so that we could actually be good at setting goals and hitting them. As I mentioned before, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And I'm going to go through each one of those. I'm going to break them down for you guys and just give you guys my perspective on it and how this has helped me in setting and achieving goals more than not. So let's get started, right? Let's talk about specific. The problem with people setting goals is a lot of times they're very vague, right? They just set a goal of like, I just want to be fit, or I just want to lose weight. And there's no specificity. You guys know what I'm saying. It's not specific, right? So being specific means it's well defined, it's clear, and ambiguous. So like you understanding exactly where you're trying to get to. If you're trying to lose weight, I want to lose 20 pounds, right? If you want to say, I want to be more fit, what does that mean? Let's be specific, right? I want to work out 3 times per week. That's specific, right? Measurable. How are you going to measure whether you're moving towards that goal or you're not moving towards that goal, right? The problem, so for example, right, is people will say, I want to work out more. You can't measure. I mean, obviously, like you can measure if you're working out more, but being able to say, I want to work out 3 times per week, you're able to look back and measure how many times a week you've worked out and if you're moving closer to that goal or not, right? Same with like the weight loss aspect, right? I want to lose 20 pounds. You can, if you were to say, I just want to lose some weight. Okay, well, if you lost a pound, did you hit your goal? Right? If you lost 1.5 pounds. So being able to say, I want to lose 20 pounds, you're able to look back at that dial, right? And say, oh shit, I've only lost 0.5 pound, right? I still have 19.5 to go. So that's measurable. The third one, and I think this one's very important too, because I think a lot of people like to shoot themselves in the foot by setting this unrealistic goal, and this is going to kind of play a role into like the next two, right? The next one is achievable and realistic. So, meaning, right, if your goal is to lose 100 pounds, you wouldn't say I want to lose 100 pounds in a week, because you can't achieve that, right? It's not realistic. So, inachievable, meaning it's attainable and not impossible, right? And realistic, meaning within reach and relevant to your life purpose. So, like, for example, right? If you just want to be healthier, and I'm using this as an example, I'm not saying this is a bad goal, I'm just using this as an example to kind of like paint a picture. If you just want to be healthier so that you can play with your kids more, you can have more energy, you can, perform better at your job, but you set a goal of being stage lean, right? Not only is that it just doesn't align with the ultimate goal of having more energy and being healthier, right? Because creating a deficit far enough to get you stage lean, if you've never experienced it, it creates an incredible deficit, which is going to make you very fatigued, very tired, so it just doesn't align. So with an achievable and realistic, it just doesn't match with where you're trying to go. And last but not least, man, timely. And I think this is where kind of a lot of people also shoot themselves in the foot, myself included at times, right? Setting a timeline, right? I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, right? If you say I want to lose 20 pounds, you hit all the other ones, right? But if you don't have a timeline that you're trying to hit that target by, it doesn't give you that sense of urgency. It doesn't give you that like, oh shit, like I only have a month left, right? I only have 2 months left. So those are the 5, and that's pretty much what they mean, right? Now I really want to get a little bit deeper into each one of those, right? All 5 of those components are going to be crucial in the time that I've been coaching, I've been in the fitness industry. I've found that the people that have all 5 components into their goals, right, are the people that are most likely to hit them and go beyond them too. So let's talk about specific, right? Goals that are specific have a significant greater chance at being accomplished. And the question is, how do I make it specific, right? Like, how do I make a goal specific? You got to ask yourself the W questions. Who's involved in that goal, right? What do I want to accomplish? Where is this going to be achieved? Where do I want to accomplish this? When do I want to accomplish? And why? And I think that's the important one, right? Is why do you want to accomplish that goal? Why is that important? Why is losing 20 pounds important to you? Is it going to get you more confidence? Is it going to give you more energy? So I think that's the important, but all the W questions you got to ask yourself to make your goal actually specific. So, right, I want to lose 20 pounds because I feel like it will make me more confident, which will make me a better partner to my significant other, right? because I'm more confident, I'm more vibrant, I have more energy. Who, what, why, when, right? So let's move into measurable. I have some notes over here too, just don't mind me if I'm going back and forth. A SMART goal must have a criteria for measuring progress. Without being able to measure your progress, you will not be able to determine whether you're moving in the right direction or not. Right? As I mentioned before, like if you just say, I just want to lose weight. Okay, cool. Well, if you lost a pound, oh, excuse me. Does that mean you hit your goal? No. You won't be able to measure it. Right? Ask yourself these questions. How many? How much? How do I know if I reached my goal? What is my indicator of progress? Right? And as you're setting a goal, it's important. All these questions that I'm giving, right? These are all important questions to ask yourself so that you can make the goal most specific, clear, measurable, right? So moving into achievable. The goal, as I said, has to be attainable. It has to be achievable, right? And making it achievable gives you and helps you realize what the work is that you have to put in to move towards that goal. So these are the questions that I would ask myself going into trying to make it achievable, right? Do I have the resources and capabilities to achieve this goal? And if not, what am I missing? Right? So if my goal is to lose 20 pounds, do I have the resources and the knowledge to achieve that? And if not, what am I missing? Right? If it's the knowledge, okay, that's where you would maybe think about hiring a coach or, doing some research or whatever it is, right? And then another question is, have others done this successfully before? Right? Because if it's been done before, obviously it's achievable, right? And obviously, like, that's not necessarily always true, like, right? Not because nobody's done it before doesn't mean it's not achievable, but we're just using this for this sake, right? Next one is realistic. And this is kind of goes right back into achievable, right? But in realistic, I think it's important to understand that with the resources, with the knowledge, with what you have right now, is this goal something that I can realistically achieve, right? So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to go into the questions. I was going to go a little deeper into that. So, ask yourself these questions to ensure that your goal is realistic. Is it within reach? Okay. With the time and the resources. And this is the most important part. Am I able to commit to the work necessary to achieve what I just said? Because there is a lot of things that are achievable, right? But a lot of times people go into it, but they're not willing to actually put in the amount of work or sacrifice or invest in what is necessary to achieve that goal. So that's a big piece of being realistic, right? If you say, right, I want to lose 20 pounds in the next month, right? But you already know that you have like 5 dinners this month, and you're gonna go on vacation for a week, and so those weeks you're not really gonna plan whatever, right? That makes it a very unrealistic goal, right? So you have to go in and actually ask yourself, am I willing to commit to the work that is going to be necessary to achieve this goal? And that's an important piece right there. And last but not least, timely, right? What is my timeline? When is my finish date? When do I want to start? Right? When am I going to check in to see what my progress looks like? If the goal is not time constrained, it's not going to help create that sense of urgency. You'll let any little thing deviate you, let you fall off, let you, stray away from your goal. And I'll use this as an example, right? As you guys know, or if you don't know, I am currently prepping for my very first half marathon. My first half marathon is February 24th. I already locked in my date. I already purchased my entry because that gave me that measurement of time of like, okay, dude, like, I better get my shit together and start really prepping for this, because if not, time's gonna fly and I'm not gonna be ready. So creating that sense of energy, the sense of urgency, right? And the questions to ensure that your goal is a time-bound goal, is, does it have a deadline? And by when do I want to start? And by when do I want to achieve it? So, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to SMART goals, man. And I think this is very important going into this time of the year, because like I said, a lot of people just set very vague, very unrealistic, very non-directional, achievable, time-bound goals. And that alone right there is already making them, they're shooting themselves in the foot off the start, off the go, just like that. So, going into this upcoming year, man, and as you guys start to set your goals for the year and what you're trying to achieve, I encourage you guys, man, use the SMART acronym. It helps me massively, right? Be specific. Have a measuring point. Make sure it's achievable. Make sure it's realistic. It aligns with you, right? And make sure you have a timeline on it. So that way you have something that is holding you accountable, something that is helping you push, something that you can kind of go back on and think to yourself like, am I doing? Am I moving? Am I not? Right? And then help you make the adjustments necessary from there. So that's all I have for you guys today, man. I hope this is helpful. I hope some of you guys use the SMART method. If you found this helpful, comment down below, man, and comment if you learned something. Let me know if you have any more questions on any of these, on this acronym itself. And yeah, man, make sure you share with anybody who you think this would benefit. And most importantly, as I always leave you guys, always remember, we're stronger together.